In March 2024, Sweden became the 32nd member of NATO. This membership already signifies a significant strengthening of the defense alliance, which is likely to be further expanded in the future. In this video, we will take a look at the future of the Swedish armed forces. And with that, welcome to a new video on my channel. If you always want to stay up to date on security and defense policy, feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. Let's get started. The Swedish armed forces currently consist of around 15,000 active soldiers, in addition to conscripts, the Homeguard and civilian employees. The total defense capacity of the armed forces currently stands at approximately 60,000 soldiers. In the future, this number is expected to increase to 90,000 soldiers. To achieve this, starting in 2025, 8,000 conscripts will be called up each year. The Swedish armed forces are organized into the Army, Air Force, Navy and Homeguard. In the following, we will take a detailed look at these branches. We begin with the Army. Currently, it has only 2 combat brigades. In the future, this will be expanded to a division with 3 mechanized brigades and 1 motorized brigade, as well as a separate mechanized battalion on the island of Gotland. The division will include a command battalion and 2 divisional artillery battalions as divisional troops. The 3 mechanized brigades will collectively have 2 tank battalions, 6 mechanized battalions and additional support units. The motorized brigade will be a reduced brigade with 3 infantry battalions primarily tasked with the defending of Stockholm. The mechanized Gotland battle group will consist of 2 combat battalions and other support units such as artillery and air defense. Naturally, this expansion requires new equipment, which brings us to the Swedish Army's procurement projects. The Army currently has 110 Leopard 2 main battle tanks, which are designated as Stridswagen 122. Of these, 44 units are to be modernized by Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann for around 300 million euros. After the modernization is completed, these tanks will be designated as Stridswagen 123A. However, in the 2030s, all Leopard 2 tanks currently in use are expected to be replaced. One possible candidate for this replacement is the Leopard 2A8, which is also being procured by the German Bundeswehr. The mechanized battalions are currently equipped with various versions of the CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles. Overall, the Army still has around 500 units in its inventory after Sweden transferred 51 CV-90s to Ukraine. As a replacement, an unspecified number of CV-90-35 Mark III Cs have been ordered from BAE Systems. However, the CV-90s are also expected to be replaced by a successor system in the 2030s. For the motorized battalions, the procurement of over 300 Patria 6x6 armored personnel carriers is currently underway. 20 units have already been delivered to the armed forces, with an additional 321 on order. The total cost amounts to around 500 million euros, with deliveries scheduled between 2025 and 2030. For challenging terrains, additional BvS-10 all-terrain vehicles are also being acquired. Over 150 units have already been delivered to the Swedish Army by BAE Systems Hägglunds, with another 127 units on order. The cost for this project amounts to 166 million euros. In addition to the BvS-10, Sweden is also procuring another type of all-terrain vehicle, the BV-410. A total of 436 units have been ordered from BAE Systems Hägglunds, with the project costing approximately 690 million euros. For the artillery battalions at the division and brigade levels, an additional 48 Archer wheeled howitzers are to be acquired. The contract with BAE Systems amounts to 468 million euros. Together with the 26 systems currently in use, the Army will have a total of 74 wheeled howitzers. However, there are no plans to procure rocket artillery systems. Therefore, Sweden is making significant investments in self-propelled mortars. Over 40 self-propelled mortars based on the CV-90 platform have already been delivered to the armed forces, with an additional 40 units on order. These are expected to be delivered by 2025. This would bring the Army's total to 80 self-propelled mortars, a considerable number, especially when compared to the German Army, which plans to procure only about 100 self-propelled mortars, despite having twice as many brigades. Lastly, the Army will also receive 25 amphibious bridging vehicles. Deliveries began this year and are expected to be completed by 2027. The primary focus of the Swedish Air Force is the control of its own airspace and the defense against enemy air forces. To ensure these capabilities in the future, the Air Force is planned to consist of 4 air wings and 1 helicopter wing. The 4 air wings will include a total of 6 fighter squadrons, 1 transport squadron, and 1 special operations squadron. The helicopter wing will consist of 4 helicopter squadrons. Of these, 2 squadrons are designated for land operations, 1 for naval operations, and 1 for supporting special forces. The 6 fighter squadrons will have a total of approximately 140 multi-role combat aircraft. 2 of these squadrons will be equipped with the older JAS-39 Gripen CD models, while the other 4 will be outfitted with the newer JAS-39 Gripen E, which are currently being delivered. The 71 JAS-39 Gripen CD aircrafts are currently undergoing a midlife update, with the contract valued at 317.6 million euros awarded to Saab. The delivery of the more modern JAS-39 Gripen E has been ongoing since 2021, with a total of 60 of these fighter jets ordered. Additionally, there is an option to acquire 10 more. To enhance the effectiveness of Sweden's fighter jet fleet, new air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles as well as reconnaissance pods are planned to be procured. As a replacement for the 2 AWACS aircraft of the S-100 Type 3, Global Eye AWACS have been ordered. The cost for this acquisition is approximately 880 million euros, with deliveries expected to be completed by 2029. However, the Swedish Air Force's overall requirement is for 4 AWACS aircraft. As a replacement for the currently used KC-130H tactical transport aircraft, Sweden is participating in the PESCO project Future Medium-Sized Tactical Cargo. This project aims to replace the existing fleets of C-130s and CN-235 aircraft starting from 2040. In addition to Sweden, Germany and France are also involved in this project. To replace the outdated Saab 105 training aircraft, Sweden is in the process of acquiring a total of 10 Grob G120 TP aircraft. 7 of these have already been delivered to the Swedish Air Force by the manufacturer Grob Aircraft SE. Let's move on to the rotary wing aircraft. The Swedish Air Force currently operates 50 UH-60M Black Hawk helicopters. An additional 12 units are being acquired to replace the NH-90. This procurement is being conducted through the Foreign Military Sales Program of the USA and will cost around $900 million. In addition, Sweden plans to acquire 9 new naval helicopters by 2035, also to replace the NH-90 currently in service. The main reason for the early retirement of the NH-90 is the low operational readiness of this helicopter model. Finally, there are plans to procure up to 250 AIM-120 C-8 AMRAAM missiles, which are medium-range air-to-air missiles. This acquisition would also be conducted through the US Foreign Military Sales Program and is expected to cost around $550 million. The focus of the Swedish Navy, both now and in the future, will remain on the Baltic Sea. The Navy is planned to be structured as follows: 2 corvette squadrons, 2 mine-sweeping squadrons, 1 mine clearance diver unit, 1 submarine squadron, 2 amphibious battalions, and 2 logistics battalions. The 2 corvette squadrons will have a total of 9 corvettes, comprising 5 Visby-class corvettes and 4 Luleå-class corvettes. The 5 Visby-class corvettes are currently undergoing a midlife update, during which they will be equipped with new anti-ship missiles, anti-submarine torpedoes, and Sea Scepter air defense missiles. The midlife update is expected to extend the operational life of the Visby-class corvettes until 2040. The Visby-class will be supplemented by 4 Luleå-class corvettes in the future. These corvettes are expected to be delivered between 2030 and 2035. Aside from the fact that the new corvettes will be approximately 100 meters long and primarily focused on air defense, not much is currently known about this new class. Now let's move on to the Swedish submarine fleet, which currently consists of 5 submarines. 2 older Södermanland-class submarines and 3 recently modernized Gotland-class submarines. The 2 Södermanland-class submarines are set to be replaced by 2 new Blekinge-class submarines starting in 2030. The cost for this replacement project is estimated at 1.4 billion euros. Starting in 2038, the Gotland-class submarines will also need to be replaced. The plan is to procure at least 3 and possibly 4 new submarines under the project currently known as Submarine 30. These submarines are expected to be slightly smaller than the Blekinge-class boats, but will carry more weapons. For the amphibious forces of the Swedish Navy, 10 additional CB-19 next-generation combat boats are being acquired. The contract is valued at approximately 35 million euros, with delivery expected in the coming years. Sweden already has around 160 of these combat boats in its fleet. Now let's turn to the Homeguard, which currently consists of 22,000 soldiers. In the future, this number is expected to increase to at least 25,000 soldiers organized into 40 Homeguard battalions. To enhance the equipment of the Homeguard, plans include the procurement of new vehicles and night vision devices. However, I was unable to find any other significant large-scale procurement projects related to the Homeguard at this time. Sweden's accession to NATO represents a significant gain for the alliance, a benefit that will likely increase with the implementation of this modernization program for the Swedish armed forces. What is particularly striking is the comparison between the Swedish armed forces and the German Bundeswehr. Despite Sweden having a population of around 10.5 million and a GDP of approximately 600 billion US dollars, the Swedish army will soon have half as many brigades as Germany's. The Swedish Air Force fighter fleet will be only about 1/3 smaller than that of Germany. Moreover, the Swedish Navy, especially in the Baltic Sea, will be quite comparable to Germany's in terms of capabilities. And then there's the Homeguard, which will soon consist of 40 battalions, while Germany has only 7 Homeguard regiments. Why I make this comparison? Because it highlights that Germany, with a population 8 times larger and nearly 7 times the GDP of Sweden, is not living up to its potential in terms of military capabilities. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on security and defense policy in the future. A big thank you to Moritz, who will undoubtedly do a great job editing this video again. And thank you to all of you for watching. Hopefully see you next time.